Hello, good morning, and welcome everybody. We'll get started here shortly as we wait for a few more folks to join us, but I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation as we wait for folks to join us. Thank you, and we'll get started here in just a few minutes.
The future is Indigenous women.
Native women, Indigenous women, keepers of the heartbeat, keepers of the rhythm. Native women, Indigenous women, we've been right here from the beginning. Trust your medicine, you were chosen to wake up medicine in the earth. You're the return of your ancestors. Know your power and know your worth.
The seeds are bursting through. They thought that we were through, but we're just getting started, and there's nothing they can do to top us or drop us, beat us or block us, cause 500 years of genocide couldn't stop this. Look into the dictionary and you'll see the definition of indigenous resilience. This is Native women, my great-great-great-great-grandmother's vision. They tried to stamp it out, but the phoenix is risen.
Native women, Indigenous women, keepers of the heartbeat, keepers of the rhythm. Native women, Indigenous women, we've been right here from the beginning. Trust your medicine, you were chosen to wake up medicine in the earth. You're the return of your ancestors. Know your power and know your worth.
If you're in Cali with the wind, you or Wisconsin with Menominee. If you're a basket weaver, or you make that Pueblo pottery, Snohomish or Lenape or Citizen Potawatomi, illuminate the space with our indigenosity. Like cedar smoke, we rise tight like tobacco ties, like stars in the sky. We are beings of light with our kin by our side. We walk with love and pride, changing the world one prayer at a time.
Native women, Indigenous women, keepers of the heartbeat, keepers of the rhythm. Native women, Indigenous women, we've been right here from the beginning. Trust your medicine, you were chosen to wake up medicine in the earth. You're the return of your ancestors.
All right, everyone, thank you so much. We'll go ahead and get started. That was Native Women by Lila June and Desiree Harp, our sisters. So be sure to check it out on YouTube when you get a chance. But welcome, everyone, and thank you for the gift of your time today and choosing to spend it here with us. Before I hand it over to our featured guest speaker, Jennifer Benally, I'm just going to go ahead and share a couple of community agreements and some gentle reminders before we jump in. So as you may have noticed, this event is being recorded so that we can increase access to our programs by sharing this out via our YouTube library. So be sure to follow and check that out. And feel free to turn on your video as you feel comfortable and engage with each other in the chat. Let us know your name, your business, and where you're tuning in from. And feel free to use your reaction buttons to share your thoughts and your emotions. And we'll have time after the program to share some comments of gratitude and some questions. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jennifer Lujan. I'm from Isleta Pueblo in the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa, and I have the honor of serving as your technical assistant for our program today. So if you need help accessing any of the links or hearing sound, feel free to send me a chat message, or you can send me an email and I'll be sure to help you with your technical need. And so with that, a little bit about our Transformation Thursdays on a Wednesday today. Thank you so much for the pivot. We want to be sure that our sister Jennifer gets to her ceremonies tomorrow. So we wanted to be sure to create this extra day of space for her to share her story, Threads of Resilience, my journey as an Indigenous entrepreneur. Our virtual programming has been known for creating a space of connection and magic for Indigenous women entrepreneurs or aspiring leaders. We provide holistic, culturally relevant virtual programming focused on various business topics for entrepreneurs at all business levels so that we can continue to meet our community where you're at. Since 2020, all of these virtual events have been complimentary offerings to increase access and to build community with our network. And through our matriarchal lens, we build community and power with and for Native entrepreneurs at all levels so they continue to build their businesses, skill sets, networks, knowledge, and wealth through these offerings. So for our agenda today after this, I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit of grounding in our community agreements. I'll go ahead and introduce our featured speaker, Jennifer Paulus Benally, and then I'll go ahead and hand it over to her to take us through today's event. And so with that, I'll go ahead and share our community agreements. So NWL is committed to the understanding of the inherent value of the women in our community to learn and celebrate mistakes. We are committed to radical transparency, understanding that we will work to heal each other and our communities in the decisions we make. We believe in thinking critical about our work and its impact on our Earth Mother and our peoples. We strive toward greater inclusion of our relatives who possess differing abilities and come from different backgrounds. And we believe that our work must be intentional and utilize anti-racist frameworks to ensure we keep moving forward with social and economic justice in mind. And so now we can go ahead and move into our program for today. I have the honor of introducing our special guest, Jennifer Paulus Benally. Jennifer Benally is an enrolled citizen of the Oneida Nation of Wisconsin, is the designer and owner of Shiny Moon Creations. With over 30 years of experience, she has been creating wearable masterpieces that instill confidence with its vibrant designs. She creates traditional and contemporary clothing, including powwow regalia. In 2023, she graduated from the Institute of the American Indian Arts with a BFA in Studio Arts. Jennifer also interned with Nike Inc. and with its Color Trend team in Beaverton, Oregon. She has also taught costume and regalia for the theater department at IAIA. Jennifer blends Indigenous tradition with modern fashion using vibrant designs inspired by her cultural heritage and powwow upbringing, such as the geometric patterns from her Dene grandmother's 2 Gray Hills rug designs and floral motifs representing her Haudenosaunee, sorry, Jennifer.
No problem.
Roots. Jennifer frequently exhibits at national art shows across the country, such as the Santa Fe Indian Market, Red Earth, the Heard Museum, Guild Indian Art Market, the Woodland Art Show in her hometown of Oneida, and the Tesoro Indian Art Market Show, where she has received recognition for her clothing and pottery. So with that, please join me in welcoming Jennifer Benally. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I appreciate you coming and want to hear my entrepreneurship journey, and I'm excited to share that with you. Some of the things I've learned and grow from on this entrepreneurship journey. So I'll go ahead and get started here, and I'm going to start my presentation. Let's see here. All right. All right. And I just wanted to share my, the title of my presentation is called Threads of Resilience. I want to share my story with you in hopes that something will resonate with you, encourage you, and maybe help you on your own path of entrepreneurship journey. So welcome, Sagoli Yate, Jennifer Benally, Oneo Diago, Kalidine Nation, I'm from the Oneida Nation. My clans are Benally, and I'm adopted into the Wolf clan on my father's side. I'm a fashion designer, daughter, wife, mother, auntie, and a grandmother. So I'm excited to share my journey with you. And so, welcome. In thinking about my entrepreneurship journey, I was like, where did my entrepreneurship journey actually started from? Where's the beginning of it? How did it actually come to pass of where I am today? And I thought I had a story that's where it actually started on, but then I started looking at even further back of the actual time that it actually started. So my business began when I learned how to walk. And you're thinking, well, how did that happen? How did you start by just learning how to walk? But as a toddler, I entered the Powell circuit or the Powell circle. And that's where I learned discipline, responsibility, and balance. Little did I know that that would be the key to starting my entrepreneurship journey. So this is a picture of me when I started dancing. My mom introduced me into the powwow circle along with my father. My father was a fancy dancer, and he brought me into the circle. And then from there um, is where my journey started. And so also on here is when I started introducing the powwow circle to my kids. So this is my oldest son, Enoch, as a grass dancer, and my daughter Contretta as a jingle dress dancer. So I thought I'd share those pictures with you as which kind of comes into play later on in life and my journey here as well. So that's kind of keep that in the background. Where did my foundation of my business started? Well, let me take it back. So my dad was working at different tribal governments, and we were moving here, moving there, and luckily we ended back in Oneida, where my dad's from. And I was so blessed that I was able to grow up in one spot because I was getting tired of moving from here to there. And so at the age of, believe I was in fifth grade when we moved back to Wisconsin. And I was felt very blessed that my parents decided to put me not in a public school, but in the Oneida Tribal School. And I try not to get emotional about it because it kind of takes you back to that time. And so I started thinking about my foundation of my business. If it wasn't of knowing of who I am, where I come from, I wouldn't have my business right now. At Oneida Tribal School, I was able to learn the language, the culture, sewing, beading, and also keep in with the powwow circle of life and going to powwows and dancing in that region up there. And so I'm indeed grateful for Maria Hinton. She was our language teacher, bless her soul. She created the Oneida Dictionary along with her brother and Anna John. I remember sitting at tribal school and having flashcards, and we are learning the language. And little did I know that that would be the foundation of my business, as well as with Bob Brown and how he taught us our songs and our that go to the culture that goes into our ceremonies, and going out to the longhouse and collecting maple sap and creating baskets and beading. And so that's my foundation. And never in a million years did I think of laying that foundation would turn into a business. So I started creativity first, and kind of going back to Oneida Tribal School and learning those beading and basketry. It also takes a community to grow and develop an individual. So my mom always been a seamstress, and so she kind of introduced me to my creativity. I would also have to thank my grandma, Fanny Deal. She was a Two Gray Hills rug weaver, and I have other grandmas that are Two Gray Hills rug weavers, to watch them, to see them design their rugs without any paper or laying it out, kind of drew my fascination with the art. So I didn't start with sales goals. I started with skills and a care and purpose. So that's how I laid my foundation for my business. And then also the evolution. Each transition taught me patience, adaptability, and growth, the same skills that I need in my business. So I started out as, like I mentioned before, as a Southern traditional dancer back in the day. And then from there, once I was able to walk, I started as a fancy shawl. I've been a fancy shawl majority of my life. And then for a brief moment, I went into Northern traditional for a brief second, and then also ended up as a jingle dress now. So being in the Powell Circle and having those teachings as well has helped me with my business. So let me take you back in actually another story of how my business started. So when I was moved back after I graduated from high school, I moved back to Oneida and I was living with my Aunt Pat. And I was calling my mom all the time, and I developed a big phone bill. And at that time, um, I wanted to start jingle dress dancing when I graduated from high school. And so I asked my mom if I could, if she would get me a jingle dress. And so she reached out to a lady, but that didn't come through. And so then I took matters into my own hands and asked one of my cousin's partners, Tina Hensley, if she could take me underneath her wing and teach me how to make a jingle dress. And she said, yeah. And so we worked on my first jingle dress, and I just loved the way the medicine dress felt. And so then I started making my second dress. So when I made my second dress, I was headed out to Denver March Powwow, and I was all excited to dance in the circle the second time at the powwow with my dress. And um, so I put it out, and I was changing into the next session, and I put that jingle dress on at my uncle's booth. And then I went to go change, and then I came back, and he's like, someone wants to buy that dress. Do you think you want to sell it? And it totally caught me off guard because I was like, that's only my second dress that I made. And I didn't think anybody would, want to buy it. And so it caught me off guard, and kind of going back to that story where I was excited to go see my family and living with my Aunt Pat in Wisconsin. Um, and my $350 phone bill was in the back of my mind. And I'm like, okay. So he's like, do you want to sell your dress? And I'm like, and when my aunt says, you make sure you have enough money when you get back from Denver to pay your phone bill because it's due. And so that kind of scared me. I was like, oh no, I don't have my money. I'm taking it to Denver and spending it. So I better make sure I have that money. And so when he asked me, I said, okay, yes, I will sell it. And they're like, well, how much do you want for it? And at that time, it was my second dress. So I didn't know, I knew some of the amount of money that I put into it, but my time, my effort, my creativity, that didn't come into play. I just said $350, the price of my phone bill. And afterwards I was thinking, what the heck did I just do? I sold myself short, and it should have been at least three or four, $500. And here I only got $350 out of it. So that kind of was funny that I said yes, that I sold the dress to pay my phone bill, but it showed that my work had value. I said yes even before I was ready to start my business. So that was how my business actually started, was by saying yes, by selling my second jingle dress that I created, and people would see me out in the um, get out in the circle and just say, hey, I like your outfit, can you make me this, can you make me that? So that's the other how it grew from there. So I started doing a balancing act with my business. I got married, had my kids young. I started balancing security and passion. I learned real quickly what burnout felt like. I was sewing late at night. I was working a full-time job at Victoria's Secrets. being a customer service um, person, selling. And then I had my family. My kids were all in school, making sure that I was there for their sporting events. And to this day, I don't know how I did it or how I was balancing it, but I know I was getting tired and I was like, I don't know how long I could keep this up. And so I was trying to figure out how to move my belt. At that point, I was just trying to keep my business afloat. I wasn't as afloat as far as like me maintaining everything, but I didn't think of growth. I didn't think of anything as far as how to progress my business. And so some of the challenges that I came across at that time is I had no plan, I had no brand. I just had determination of continuing my business and having it grow. And um, even then, I would say having the understanding of how to make my business grow, I didn't really understand that part. The business plan wasn't there. Talent alone isn't enough, and I had to learn structure and strategy. Um, and so when that kind of came into play and trying to think in all these things, how to move forward, then doors started opening for me. Um, my oldest son was graduated from high school and started college at that time. And so he was thinking about opening his business, and he started his business, Reclaim Designs, him and his younger brother. And so we were at the Comic-Con convention, the first one at Isleta back in 2017. And we were looking at the booths, and my husband came across the New Mexico Community Capital had a booth there, and they were trying to look for young entrepreneurs to start their NAIR program. And so my husband grabbed their pamphlet and he's like, "Hey, you guys, you should try this New Mexican Community Capital. You have your business, but you want it to grow. I think this will help you." And so I took that pamphlet and applied, and they interviewed me, and that's when I was entered into the NAIR program. And then slowly after being involved with New Mexico Community Capital, then I was introduced to Native Women Leads that gave me the tools and the directions of how to progress my business, how to have a business plan, how to have a brand, how to look at other opportunities of growing your business. Just don't settle just for doing your business the way it is. Look at other avenues of growing your business. So if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have opened my eyes and then also start thinking about, well, how else can I improve my business? And so I took let's see, some jumps back real quick. So then from there, I also looked at lessons. What lessons could I learn? Some of the lessons that I also learned is from New Mexico Community Capital and Native Women Leads is progress and perfection. Don't wait for perfection all the time because, you know, the artist that I am, I always think I have to have everything fully thought out and that everything needs to be in place. And I was just like procrastinating of putting my things out there because I'm like, wait, it's not ready. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to make sure I have a business logo before I could start my business. And they're like, no, you just put yourself out there. You just start it. And once you start your business, then you can start adding your logo, your brand, your business cards, your websites, you know. So I started from just registering my business, starting the business plan, and from there it just grew. So in this picture, I just wanted to show, you know, starting with a product and then progressing it, and you never know where your product will go. And this year, I did a collaboration with Rose McFadden, and she took my clothing to Milan's Fashion Week. And so I never thought I would be involved with Milan Fashion Week. I wasn't there in person, but my clothing was there, and I was happy and honored that she took me along with that ride. And so, making if I didn't have these doors opened for me, I wouldn't be progressing year after year. So I thank Rose for taking me along on that ride and um, putting my work out there. So that was a great honor for me that happened this past year. The other thing that I did is I took a big leap. I walked away from my business, from working at Victoria's Secrets for 14 years, having a paycheck every other week, having health insurance, having a 401k. But I was burning the midnight oil at both ends, and I wasn't knowing what the opportunities of the potential of my business. Like my husband kept saying, well, quit your full-time job and do your business full-time. You can make money. You can probably do more if you had more time to create and not have to work all the time. And I was so scared. I didn't want to do that. And then the other thing I also wanted to do was go back to school. Um, I wanted to get my degree. I started my family young. I put my kids through college, or they put themselves through college. I just assisted them and guided them to start college. But I always wanted to go back. I thought if they could do it, then I could do it. And to speak or to they encouraged me to go back as well. So I wanted to follow that dream. And I quit my job, started my business full time. I started making more money with my business because I was able to focus around it. And then I went back to school. When I got back to school, I started noticing because I never considered myself as an artist at that point in time. And then once I got into school, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am an artist. I do have it opened my eyes of other opportunities and avenues to make money within in the art field as well. So that really helped me and opened my eyes by going back to school and growing my business as well. So um, that was scary, but I'm happy that I did that. Oops. This thing jumps so quick. I apologize. Let's see.
All good. We love the photos.
Let's see. Technical problem. Oh, it just went back again. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening here. um, uh, so I just kind of went back. Okay, here we go. So investing in my education, that I just mentioned, earning my degree and a new revenue stream of ways of thinking as well. So some of the other milestones this past year after I graduated from IAI, I wanted to just put my name out there. And so this past year has been a big blessing for me. I was able to participate in 13 fashion shows from up in New York all the way to the coast, Pacific coast. I got to meet people, show them my lines. I had two lines. I created one called Woven Echoes, which was dedicated to my grandma from the Two Gray Hills area, which introduced the rug designs of how they came. And then it went from the first phase to the second phase to the third phase. And then how they went into their different regional areas, which was the Two Gray rug where I featured my grandma's rug. So I did a collaboration with my grandma, just seeing my grandma as a little girl weave her rugs. I was always fascinated and appreciated her love and dedication for the arts. Along with that, I had another line called Skymark, which I wanted to introduce the designs on my Haudenosaunee side, that designs weren't out there for my Haudenosaunee, my Oneida side. And I wanted those designs to be out there in the forefront in the fashion industry as well. So I was able to create those different fashion shows throughout the year. And let's see here. The other thing that I was able to do was give back to my community. Um, I always wanted to, I do like to go back to Oneida where I was born and raised and be around. I try to go back for ceremonies. Jennifer mentioned um, I was planning on going back to Wisconsin for our midwinter ceremonies this week, but unfortunately I'm not able. I was called to jury duty, so I have to stay here in New Mexico for that. But that's what the plan was to go back to Oneida to do our midwinter ceremonies. But in getting back into the arts and understanding it, I got into other art shows. And so then I was able to get and work with the Woodland Indian Art Inc. They hired me to produce fashion shows. From there, I was able to create modeling workshops, and I wanted to get the youth involved. I wanted the youth to be empowered and feel like they mattered and that they had the opportunity. The one thing when I went back to Nike that opened my eyes is all of those kids out there were groomed to be to go out for those prestigious internships. And I felt like I don't belong there. I don't have anything to offer. But experiencing that opportunity that I have every right to be there, that I do have a lot to offer as a big company like Nike did. And so I wanted to share that back with the youth in Oneida that they matter, to embrace of who they are, where they come from, and that they can go after prestigious internships and to go to college and to look forward. So that was my reasoning in creating fashion shows back in Oneida. And I wanted the other seamstresses to look at opening their business and to put their business out there, that they have other things to offer as well as woodland artists. And so that's another reason why I started the fashion shows back out there, to get other woodland artists and fashion designers out in the forefront in the fashion industry. So that's been a big blessing to see our kids get involved this past year, to get families involved, to have modeling workshops. I've had a number of mothers said, "I'm so glad that you did this. My kid is looking at going into the theater department, and if they didn't do your fashion show, that wouldn't have opened their eyes." So I'm happy to be an instrument in navigating our youth to the future of other opportunities that they have available for them. So what's for me next? So right now I'm working on my 2026 collection. I'll be debuting that at the Herd Museum. I got into the Herd this year, so I'm pretty excited about going out there the beginning of March. And I'm also going to be an adjunct professor at the Institute of American Indian Arts. So giving back to IAIA is also a blessing for me. So I'll be teaching in the theater department how to sew and introducing them to costumes for the theater department, as well as integrating regalia making. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that's what's going to be in the pipeline that I'm working on this year so far. What is some of the dreams that I have? You know, some of the dreams I always thought I didn't want a store, but the more and more I think about it. So when I started my business, I was only making regalia outfits. And so that's when my kids were all in high school. And so I would say, I felt like the little red hen, that I wasn't going to be the little red hen, that I was going to say, you guys are involved in this business. I'm going to teach you how to do cones. Enoch, you're going to be my cone maker and to assist me in jingle dresses. Tretta, you're going to be my beater and help me with the accessories. And so that you're going to be part of this business as well, so that, you know, the money isn't going back to me, the money is going back to you for their sports. So I was doing the business to help them with their sports, their camps, their shoes, their traveling. So I got them involved, and little did I know that that was laying the foundation for them to start their businesses as well. So my oldest son and my youngest son started Reclaim Designs. They take pop culture and um, integrate native teachings with it. And my oldest son, he always wanted t-shirts when he was little that had representation of who he is and where he came from, and wear those just like other kids, little kids have at that time. So that's why he wanted to give it to back to the youth, and also just parents, so that association. And then my daughter, with her companion Kevin, they started Native Gains, and that's more of not just for health, but also mental health, to do association with physical and mental health, to take care of yourself, to put yourself first. To, if you take care of yourself first, then others, then you can share that with others. So they started their business. So I want to open a store with them, with our businesses, and also maybe start selling my fabrics as well. I create my fabrics. So just trying to dream about how I'm going to create this store, how we're going to do it, where the money's going to come from. So that's my big, big, big dream of making that happen, and seeing if I can take them along on that journey with me. So dream big. And that's one thing New Mexico Community Capital and Native Women Leads has always taught me, is to dream big and to seek after your dreams, and to put it out there, and to make it tangible so you can reach it. So that's what I have in how I started my business. The one thing that I couldn't do is the community, the people that I put around me that support me, that help me. My husband supports me, he's there for me. So I thank him. My kids, they're the, I mean, they help me with any aspects, computer. If I am doing a show, they'll help me set up. And so without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And then the people that I put around me, other fashion designers, other entrepreneurship programs, um, it just takes a village. And then even my community, you know, all the seamstress back at home, all the people that taught me how to do basketry, how to do beading, how to sing, how to associate my creation story with the designs that I make. So without that, I wouldn't be where I am at. So I thank my community for being there, and to support me and help me with being who I am and where I am to get to today. So um, I'll try not to get sentimental, but if you know me, I'm a big boob, and I'm always trying not to cry, but it always comes out right. So I, I apologize. I kept saying, I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be strong and not do that. But I guess I wouldn't be me if I don't shed a tear. So I just wanted to share my entrepreneurship. The thing that I can say is, remember of the people that you put around you, dream big, put that out there, have a good support around you, and get your work out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It needs to be, have a starting point. So those are things that I've learned on my entrepreneurship journey. And I hope that some of it resonates with you, empowers you, and helps you in the future with your business. So, yeah, uncle, thank you. Um, some of the this is my business logo, and how you can keep in touch with me, either through my website at www.shinymooncreations.com, or email me at shinymooncreations. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. Also for this for featuring me, I'll be having a 20% off on my website. So all the clothing that is on there will be 20% off for the next 2 weeks to honor that Native Women Leads gave me. So I thank you. I appreciate you all for taking the time for being here. Yo uncle.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Can you please tell us again how to access that 20% off on your website?
So
Is
when you
there
go yeah, when you go into my website, there'll be an offer code that's going to be Native Women Leads 20, and that will give you the 20% off on your order.
Okay, I'm going to drop it in the chat. Is that correct, Jennifer?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Be sure to check out Jennifer's website. But before we move on, just wanted to open it up to see if anyone has any questions for Jennifer, maybe some comments about her journey, about any of the challenges. We certainly have time. And then after this, please stay on because we will be doing a raffle gift giving, courtesy of Jennifer and her family and their amazing businesses. So if there are no questions or comments, we will go ahead. Go ahead, Claire.
Hi, Jennifer. This is Claire from NMCC. It's so great to hear your story from the beginning because I've been a fan of yours and kind of from a distance, watching your company grow over the years. And you're an amazing speaker. You should think about just presenting from the heart like that. It was really beautiful. I'm also really in awe of your prolific pace. 13 shows in different places around the country. It just seems to just scream, like the passion behind it. It gives you that kind of energy, and it's really inspiring. I have kind of a geeky question though. Do you actually create original work for every single show, or are your models wearing some things from different shows to kind of
So I
yeah.
think, well, thank you for that question. I think I've had to learn and learn how to navigate. I'm the only one that creates my clothing, so I don't have a team of seamstress that's helped me. I create everything. So there is a line that I would create majority of the line are one of a kind pieces. But then I thought, well, how do I improve upon that? How do I so then I started creating material, and then I started looking for places that could create that product for me because I was sewing noon and night, and I was like, I don't know how I can do this. So it without New Mexico Community Capital and Native Women Leads have opened my eyes and how to navigate, how to think of making more money and being able to generate making money without killing myself as far as like working to death. So part of my line will have featured items that I do make that are one of a kind, but then off a sense of that, I do find places that can take my designs and create the product for me. So I kind of integrate the two, so it kind of complements one another. So it kind of gives that versatility of just a product that they like the dress I'm wearing now that they can order online, and it has the designs that I created, and then they make the product for me and able to get it out on my website. But like all my ribbon skirts that are that I create myself, and so it gives me a chance to do both, create and then also some relief through the website and ordering it online.
Okay, thank you. That helps. And I also wanted to follow up with a recommendation. If you don't already know about Southwest Creations Collaborative, SCC, they're in the South Valley in Albuquerque. They would be an option for you for a domestic contract manufacturer. I think their minimum, and of course, this is for the items that are not one of a kind, but for the things that you are um, open to doing in bulk. I think their minimum order is like 200, maybe 300 units. Um, but they're a women-owned, longtime nonprofit. I've been on their board for years, but I think they're kind of an unknown resource. I wanted to flag them, and I'll send you the information and put the link in here for anyone on the call who's looking for ethical domestic manufacturing. Really great organization.
And that's one thing that I'm just kind of stepping my foot in, and how to look at different, another big dream of mine would be to have my own sewing plant and be able to outsource for Native women to work that love to sew and have that passion, that can check in and check out. And so that would be another way of generating or starting another business that kind of been sitting in the back of my head, but to find other things that are Native women owned in the area, that would be great. So thank you. I appreciate that information.
Yes,
Hello.
thank you so much. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So, Jennifer, I just want to say that you did a wonderful job in just walking us through your journey. The way that you opened up about your emotions and your experiences showed such strength, passion, and just genuineness. It made your story not only inspiring, but just deeply human in itself. And I just really appreciate how comfortable you were with sharing those parts of yourself. Because I feel like as Indigenous women, at times we don't give ourselves permission, to show that side of ourselves. So I just feel grateful that you were able to share that experience with us. I have two questions, but I'll ask them one at a time because they're a bit
Okay.
lengthy. The first is, can you describe a moment when someone from a completely different background helped you see your business differently?
I would have to say it was Nike. I would have to say that, like, when I was asked to do that entrepreneurship, and I always thought, well, maybe I want to go and work for Nike. But then I was thinking when I got there, I mean, we had out of, I don't know, 50,000 applications, I was selected to be part of that internship. And when I got there, I was like, I'm just a res girl, coming off the res, and what can I offer them? Being older at that point and all these young bucks and, you know, technology and everything, I was like, I don't even compare to them. But once I got there, my story, what I've been through, had a lot to offer in that type of realm as far as Nike goes, the things that I could share, the things that I could elaborate on that could offer to that company. They're the ones that said, you have every right to be here. You offer, that's why we selected you. It wasn't just because it just happened by freak accident. No, we sought you out and we appreciate that. So I would have to say that is kind of what opened my eyes, that um, I do have a lot of knowledge. I do have a lot to share. And I can put those tools that I've learned into my own business and share my own designs, that I don't need another company to do that for me, that I can do that myself. So that kind of gave me that confidence there.
Thank you for sharing that insight.
Mhm.
Okay, for the next question I have, how do you maintain relationships with collaborators or even collaborations that you have once the project ends, or maybe in a sense, like in the fashion industry, once the season has ended? Like, how do you maintain those?
I think that's the learning experience for me this year, because I've never really did collaborations, but like with Isabel, with Rose, her name is just kind of just slipping. Isabella, Isabella, dang, my mind's slipping me. But with Rose McFadden, she sought me out and she collaborated with me. And so now it just opened a door where hopefully next time when something comes into play, that we'll touch bases with her. Just keeping in touch with people that I've met throughout the different places that I've been. Another one that is Kalika Smith with Kalika Creations. Um, we've done a number of shows. She does the porcupine quill work, and so with her earrings, with my fashions, they've worked really together. So she invited me to do a fashion show with her, which is Red Horizons. So I did that fashion show with her. Then she came out to India Market, and we did a couple of fashion shows together with her accessories. So, and then Sam, dang, I always have bad names with names, but with Sam from Akwesasne territory, she's a raised bead worker. Her and her mom, I was able to do collaborations with them. So it kind of just opened my eyes of collaborating and bringing Indigenous artists together. So once we kind of touch base, we kind of just keep any opportunities that I have or they have, we kind of touch base and keep those going together. So it's just keeping bringing each other up as entrepreneurs instead of bringing each other down or trying to um, pivot up with one another, that there's room for all of us and to work collaboratively with one another is very empowering, to working with other Native Indigenous artists as well. And so I just like excited to what the future can bring for me, and what I can bring for the future for other designers as well. So yeah, it's a family that grows and sticks together and stays together.
That's really good to hear, like that those collaborative pieces like not only turn into friendships, but also kind of turn as an extension of family.
Mhm.
So that's great to hear. I just wanted to mention this is just a personal shout out to is that I'm also Bethany. So
Oh,
hello.
oh, yay.
Yeah. So yeah, so I have a high regard for the arts, especially, the work and the heart that is put into it. I myself am not a part of that realm. I'm more like on the academic research kind of side piece. But I have such a high regard for it. So I look forward to seeing more of your incredible work.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for chiming in and thank you for those great questions. I appreciate them.
Yes, thank you, Sharisa. I do have a couple in the chat from Rayanne. Rayanne, did you want to come off mic and ask your questions, or I could ask them for you? Okay, so the first one we have, Jennifer, is how did you come up with your business name, Shiny Moon Creations?
Well, that's an interesting story. So I wanted something to be of who I am, where I come from. So my original business name started off with I wanted to use my Oneotiaga name, which was Winistalukte. And so then I went away from Oneida for a while, and then I started thinking what was my name, and so I went back to that. And then so I asked Bob, I was like, "Do you remember?" But he gives 1,000 names, or a lot of names, and he's like, "No, I don't remember that." And then so the clan mothers started researching it, and before I even got the confirmation that um, that what I thought my name was. There was a period of time when I was going to tribal school, went to the Longhouse, and but at that time I didn't know I needed to put my name through the Longhouse in order for that to be my name. And so my brothers and sisters, because I was the oldest one, so I got sent to public school, and the following year, they all got their names put through. And so the clan mother goes, how come all your brothers and sisters all have a name, but yours is not on there? And I was like, just devastated. I was like, but that's my name. And so then, and what's Ninakde means shiny moon. And so I just kept the shiny moon creations. So I had to go back and go and put my name through, which my Haudenosaunee name is Ayunkwako, which means big medicine. So that's my Oneotiaga name, but I still stuck with Shiny Moon. So that's how my business name came to be.
Oh, awesome. And the second question is, do you design your creations for a specific gender or size?
I try to keep all sizes open and genders. I try to create more. I mean, sometimes it just depends on the mood that I am. Sometimes I like to feature men's because you don't see men's out there as much as more prominent as women's. So I do like to design shirts, vests, trying to keep them up to par with the women. But I think my heart is women. Also, I mean, kids as well. I'm trying to do more so for kids. And so I try to do everybody and everybody as much as I can and try to include and not leave anybody out. As far as sizing, it just has to go with where I'm able to get the product and try to look at other sources of all different sizing to keep that in mind because I know not everybody is a size 4 or 3. You know, we do have the other sizes, and I try to keep that mindful because I'm that size as well and want to keep fashion in that, excuse me, in that sizing. So there's not anybody that I just target. If anybody, you know, reaches out to me and they have an idea, it's just not the designs that I create. I do have a background with the geometric, with the floral. Um, so I'm able to do different designings. Like I like to do research and create something for that person that has meaning to them that can give them empowerment to wear for that special occasion. So I try to keep it open as much as possible.
Yeah, thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, she created some beautiful skirts for Native Women Lead. Did that research, like you were talking about, Jennifer, on our brand colors, put our logo on there with, oh my gosh, they were gorgeous. We'll have to post it one of these days so you guys could check it out. But yes, definitely so talented. Um, and we do have another question from Kim. She says, congratulations on your beautiful success. As you continue to grow in abundance, how are you protecting the values of your business as you scale?
I think that's work in progress and learning. I'm still exploring those areas and still trying to learn and how to protect and, you know, putting copyrights on everything. I just don't have the money to do that. So I'm just trying to figure out how to protect that part of it right now and how to generate money to be able to put those copyrights on it. But for now, it's just learning in progress. So I'm just learning and growing how to do that right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you everyone for your amazing questions. Um, are we ready to go into the raffle giveaway?
Yeah, so I'll show the product and then we can do the wheel of names. So I wanted to give products that I created. So this is a collaboration that I did with my grandma. It was one of her rugs that I saw from a picture. And so I took that design and digitized it with my son. And then I changed some of the designing to bring out the colors. And so I wanted to say that I collaborated with my grandma. She's been gone for 10 years now. So this shirt is from the Woven Echoes line. So let's do the wheel of names and see who gets this shirt. Are you there, Jen?
Yes, I'm here. Can you
Okay.
see my screen with the
Yeah.
wheel?
Yeah. Hey, Rianne. Woohoo! Congratulations.
So be sure to drop your email address in the chat so we can contact you after the event to get your mailing address. Thank you, Rayanne. Congratulations.
And so the second one that I have is my floral design t-shirt that I just came out with last year. And this is to wear with ribbon skirts every day. I even like to wear a blazer underneath it. But I was also looking for a nice floral skirt to a floral shirt to go with ribbon skirts. So that's why I created this shirt. So that one goes out too. Mary.
Mary, congratulations, Mary. Again, please be sure to drop your email address in the chat and we'll reach out to you to get your mailing address. Congratulations.
And then the last one, I don't know if you want to stop sharing for a little bit, Jen,
Yeah.
but I created this skirt. I don't know if you can see it, but I created the fabric and it has our three sisters, our sky domes, and then some of the designs that we put on the bottom of our pottery. So this is a skirt. It's about a size medium large. So this will go into the lucky winner.
All right. Let me pull up the wheel again.
All right.
Lovely.
Congratulations. So
Kelsey,
that,
are you here? I think we might have to do one more spin of the wheel. I think Kelsey might have jumped off.
okay. Sorry,
All right.
Kelsey.
Sorry, Kelsey.
Sheila, congratulations.
Congratulations, Sheila.
Thank you for coming on. Well, thank you, everybody. I was happy to share some of my products with you. I just want to thank you for taking your time out of your day to hear my entrepreneurship journey and threads of resilience. And hopefully it has helped you or will contribute to your entrepreneurship journey is to just get it out there and start some way. You could always make it better. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Jennifer. And Sheila, before you jump off, if you could share, period. Thank you so much. For your email address, we'll be sure to reach out to you to get your mailing information and get your gifts over to you. And thank you all so much for the gift of your time and spending it here with us today. We hope you gain some motivation, some knowledge, some resources, and some beautiful swag. And don't forget to check out Jennifer's website for 20% off using the code Native Women Lead 20. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
See you. Bye.
Thank you, Jennifer. See you next time. Have a good day.